Hello and welcome to the Fear Free Human Show. Today- I haven't talked yet this morning. That is hilarious. I've had a quiet morning. I've been really enjoying myself with my little dog. We went for a walk and we're hanging out. And I just realized I haven't really spoken to anyone this morning. So here we are. Welcome to the Fear Free Human Show. I am super excited that you're here. I love, love, love getting to introduce you to your internal guidance system so that you can tap into divine intelligence. I am Zen Cryer DeBrook, your host. And today we're going to be talking about stress themes and stress defenses. So, the way that this system that you were born with works, I need to turn off my people here. The way that this system works that you were born with is you get signals anytime you're having thoughts, you will get signals about what you're thinking. And if the thoughts that you're having are out of alignment with what's going to bring you happiness and joy, you'll feel a lump in your throat, a tightness in your chest, or a sick feeling in the solar plex area. And when you feel that, that means that your thinking is out of alignment. What you're thinking is not true or not going to happen. Now, the thing that I want to just mention before we dive into our coaching today is that we are programmed between the ages of 0 and 7. Not intentionally, it's just the way our minds work. We collect all kinds of data and information about what's going to keep us safe and loved in the world. And then what we do is our mind begins to cultivate a protective system and a promotion system. What do I mean by that? It protects us from things it thinks is going to hurt us, things that hurt us when we were between the ages of 0 and 7. And then it begins a promotion thing of getting acknowledged so we can be loved, right? And so depending on the culture you were raised in, the family unit, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your school, the where you were born, all of it, you have these stress themes that come up, things that always you're trying to protect yourself from. And you also have defenses, what you do when you're hurt. And a lot of what the internal guidance system is sharing with you when you feel this closed sensation, it's just guidance, is that these these actual stress themes and stress defenses are not going to get you love. They're not going to keep you safe. And that there's a new way to do life. And it's actually encouraging you through the closing to find a new thought, to find the opening. So we're going to dive in with some coaching today. And we're going to see what kinds of things we can discover around stress themes and stress defenses in our coaching. All right. So the first person that we have up here today is Caitlin, and we're going to go ahead and bring you on. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello.
Hi. How can I help you
Hi.
today?
Well, I'm just working through the 14-day fear-free um, plan, and I'm getting a lot of neutrals or not, like not feeling it. So if you have any tips on how to get more closings or openings, that would be great. Maybe I'm
Okay.
asking the wrong questions.
Okay. So don't ask questions. That's what the number
Okay.
one thing. Okay. So and in that vein, we'll just go with it. What are you trying to ask questions about?
Um, well, some of them are I have a 10-year-old who's a little challenging, so just how much to be involved in his day to day. For instance, I looked up his grades and in reading, he hasn't turned in a few assignments. And I'm like, do I get involved? Do I let him just get a C? I don't know.
Okay.
'Cause-
No, that's good. Okay. So the 14-day experience, right, is giving you different prompts for different things, and it allows you to practice feeling your internal guidance system. Neutral is a valid response. It doesn't mean you're not feeling it. It means there's no information because the thoughts you're having aren't moving you in any particular direction, not towards being happier with the outcome or away from being happier with the outcome, being unhappy with the outcome. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. Because remember, if you are you watching all the videos each day?
Hmm.
Good. Okay, so because it operates like a compass, right? And so neutral is you're just in a normal state waiting to get some sort of information, but it's actually still a part of the guidance. And so the thing that I would use with your kid is this any of my business?
Okay.
If you get an opening, it's your business. You got to dive in. If you don't get an opening and you get a closing, it's not your business. It's going to sort itself out,
Okay.
right? So that would be the place to start. The other place is if I were to be looking at it, I would be, if you, it is your business, I would go in and talk to his instructor and find out what's going on. Right. And then from there, you start strategizing. Should, have to, need tos, and must is another one of the days. Right. And so
Yeah.
you want to look at, should he be putting in more time? Does he need to be like, and if it opens you, then then that's true. But if it doesn't open you, then that's not the way to go. So it's not like asking questions. It's more like creating a strategy around
Okay.
what actions to take. And as you're creating the strategy with your internal guidance system, you're noticing if that feels more relaxing, peaceful, and opening, or if it's feeling more anxiety, stress, closing sensation.
That makes
Does
sense.
that make sense? Because
Hmm.
if you sit and ask questions, you don't know what questions to ask. Your
Hmm.
mind doesn't know what questions to necessarily ask, especially when you're already upset that he's not doing well. There's already anxiety about him not doing well,
Okay.
right? And then mama to mama, I feel like 10-year-olds, it's less about grades and more about keeping them excited to be learning.
Yeah.
Right. And so, because yes, it'll count in high school, but right now nobody's going to go back to his elementary school grades and see that he's got a C. But more of it is, what isn't he getting at school that's keeping him excited? Or what is it that is boring him? Or, and I know he's difficult, right? Like he could just be one of these kids who just doesn't want to work hard, right? Doesn't, and or has authority issues or whatever. And so he's like, I don't feel like it. Or he's talking to the other kids because he's got a personality. Or, at this age, it's really about learning how to be social in a group setting too. Um, so don't stress yourself out over it too much, mama.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the grade. Like he's a good student. So it was more just like a surprise. And it's just things that he like didn't turn in, but he like did the work. Like it's
Oh,
stupid reading logs where like he reads way more than he even is supposed to, but then he just doesn't fill out the reading log and ask me to sign it. So it's just like more teaching him like responsibility, I think is the big thing right now, and like taking ownership.
when
I'm
you
not
look
worried. I'm not worried about his grades at all. Like
good,
I
good.
don't.
I'm glad.
The C didn't worry me. I was like, well, but it was more just like, okay, what do you want to do about it? Because I'm not going to fix this for you. Like, do you care enough to like
and
find the reading logs and turn them in and try to get half, some credit, or do you not like? So
so do you feel how you feel right now? How you're not closed, you're just open?
yes,
That you're on the right track. If
okay,
that wasn't a good solution of like he needs to handle this on his own and how are you going to solve this, and I don't know about the do you care enough piece because there's a little shame in there, but it's like how important is this to you? You know what I mean? I agree with
yeah,
that statement, but you're open. It feels like you've got it. What
okay.
else are you working with besides this that I could support you on, that you're asking
Um,
questions about, that you're trying to get information on?
right now I'm just so new to the program, so it's just like a lot of trying to tap in as much as possible. Like I'm on a little health journey of trying to like lose weight and try different things. So I'm like fasting and then doing some different workouts. So trying to be like, okay, should I fast today? I don't know. Like trying to,
Okay.
the should I's. But
Yes.
I haven't done it well enough. So I'm like, am I doing this right? Like, do you
Okay.
stick to a program regardless because you're like trying to hit a goal? Do you like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
So let me give you, thank you. I'm glad I asked. So right now, the most important thing is for you to not do any of that in your journey with your IGS. Okay. Don't try to get any answers at all. Right. Because you're in the
Okay.
14-day quick start. The way I design that is, it's like, the way I think of it is, I've just got this new way of thinking about it. It's as if you're trying to tap into divine intelligence, and the prompts, like you would use a prompt with artificial intelligence, and the
Hmm.
quality of your prompts gives you the quality of the answer from the AI, right? It's
Hmm.
very similar. The quality of your prompts, which are the exercises in the 14-day and in all the rest of the courses, okay, that the quality of those prompts is what gives you your openings and closings from your internal guidance system, which is tapping into divine intelligence. So right now you're learning. So don't clutter it up by trying to overwork what you know. just do each exercise in order from in the 14 days and play with it and get your ahas, because by the time you're done with the 14 days, you're going to have a deeper understanding of how this works.
Okay.
Okay. Then start the stress to happiness program, because within about a week and a half, 2 weeks, you're going to start working on your stress themes and your stress defenses. And that is where you'll start playing with it in the way that you are now. You're
Okay. So
jumping
I'm
ahead
trying
of
to jump
yourself.
ahead.
Exactly. You're trying to
Okay.
go to 6th grade and you're in kindergarten.
Perfect. I'll try to
Okay.
stay in kindergarten then.
Yes, yes. And as far as your health journey goes, in the meantime, while you're learning, my recommendation is do it. Make sure whatever you decide to do, it feels good.
Okay.
Don't do anything that's a struggle. You won't stick with it.
Sounds good.
That's what you should be looking for. What opens me that I'm going to love doing? Like, I just totally got into the mini trampoline and it is rocking my
Mm,
world. The exercises on it and my body's shaping up so fast. And I don't even feel like I'm exercising. I'm just bouncing around like a little kid, but it's working. So
okay.
find something you love, because that's what you're going to end up sticking with. And that's what will open you, is the
Okay.
joy in that. Okay.
That makes sense.
Awesome. Good to have you on the call. I'm glad I was going to reach out to you because I hadn't seen you around in a bit. So I'm glad you're back in.
Well, the new platform with like the app is helpful. I think it alerts me more to remind me. So
Good. That's why we
yeah,
changed over to it. Woohoo, it's
yeah.
working.
Woohoo! You got me in.
Good. All right, girl. Good to see you. I'll be in Seattle and I'll be seeing you April 23rd and 24th.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing a business leadership with Courtney.
Oh my gosh.
So you'll be getting
Okay.
an email about how to create a high performance and be a part of a high performance team. You'll want to do it for your business. It's totally affordable and you'll love it, and we'll be able to support you in running your organization.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All
All
right. I'm
right.
excited.
Good. Okay. Right
Okay.
on. Talk soon. We're going to move on to Evan. I'm so happy to hear from you. Hi, Evan.
Hi Zen. How are you?
I'm
Been a
good. Good
while.
to see you. It has
Yeah,
been.
yeah, you too. You look smiley as ever.
Well, thank you. I had a good morning. I went for a walk with my dog.
Good, good.
Spring is
Um,
coming.
it is very much coming where I am. Very excited about
Yeah.
that. Days are longer and the sun's shining brighter. It's very nice.
Yep. I love it. So what can I do for you?
So I have I have this man in my life who uh, I hope I don't know the answers to this already, but I'm gonna try anyways. Um, Maybe 2, 3 years ago, I hooked up with him. Um, and we started being friends. And pretty much every time I get together with him, so maybe it's once a week, once every couple of weeks, we meet, go out for lunch, we go hang out at the pond and hang out and talk. Pretty much most of the time, I I, I say to myself either while we're talking or when I'm done, like, why do I hook up with this guy? Why do I meet with him? Why am I friends with this guy? And so this has been going on for a while, and I started asking myself, well, maybe I'm here to support him, or because he's kind of a lonely guy. He just turned 70. He's a lonely guy. I mean, we connect certain ways. He's kind of on a spiritual path that's very similar to mine, so I can connect. But most of the time, I don't feel good about hanging out with him. And then there's a lot of times where he calls me, he wants to hook up, and I just don't really want to, or I do it anyways. So blah 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 on that. The point is, I I I, I almost don't want to ask my IGS what to do because I don't know how to break up with someone. I mean, as
A
a
friend.
friend,
Yeah.
I don't. I'm too much of a nice guy, and I'm gonna feel guilty and all that other stuff. And I know this, you know, it's none of my
So
business. So
you said it doesn't feel good being friends with him. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, most of the time I'm with him. He just the things that comes out of his mouth and the way he talks to me, and there's a little bit of mischief in there, and I don't feel good. Like it's very very rare that I leave. I get together with him and I feel good. Like, oh, he brought something in my life. It's the other way. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen very often in my life where I walk away from someone thinking, why do I hang out with this guy? And I do that most of the time. And so I don't know. Again, it's one of those like,
Well,
is
let's
this
find
my
out.
path? Is this my path? Am I supposed to be
I
learning
think
something?
you're already getting the answers.
Yeah.
You're not
But,
open to hang out with him. Like it doesn't feel opening. There's a closing when you think about there's an obligation, is what I'm hearing. There's obligation,
mhm.
right? And there's not wanting to hurt somebody's feelings,
Yeah.
not wanting to be in conflict.
Yeah.
Is that
All,
opening? Everything I'm saying, all those things, right? And so it's more about you standing up for what you desire and what you want
right. And
in your life.
that's where it's hard for me because
And that, yeah.
I was one of these guys that I couldn't break up with a girlfriend in the old days. So I would just make them so miserable that they would break up with me because I was too scared to,
Yeah.
do it that way. And so it feels similar to that.
Well, unfortunately, that's something you have to learn how to do. And so even if you run away from this person and make them break up with you as a friend, somebody else will come up that's going to push this point. We're supposed to be able to protect ourselves and to guide our lives in the way that feels the right for us and true for us. And what I do know is if you're feeling this way, it's not healthy for him to be there's somebody else for him to be hanging out with, and he won't go find that person or figure out where he belongs if you're taking up that space. So it's both. And what I've found is, and this is the hardest part, Evan, is you actually do have to say the thing
Yeah,
to him.
that just seems so difficult and not nice.
And it points to the fact that you're really not his friend. Because if he was really your friend and there was something going on, you would take him aside and say, hey, man, I'm your friend. And this is really something that's bothering me. And I need to talk to you about it because it's not okay.
So
But
is that possibly step one? Because maybe something will come out of that.
yeah, step one is like, I just want to let you know, I don't feel great leaving our time together.
Right.
And you need to tell him why. And that may be the role that you have. I've had to do that before with someone. It was very hard for me because I didn't like conflict. Now it's a lot easier for me because I have my internal guidance system and I will open when a hard conversation has to happen. I will open, and I know from years of experience that it always turns out to be the best thing for everybody. That whatever it is that I'm open at saying will come out right. It's not going to be as hard as my mind is making it out to be. And not only that the person needs to hear it. They may not react perfectly in the moment, but
Hmm.
over the course of time, it will serve them and it will support them in some way in their life that is needed. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the opening to say it. So there would be a different course of action because this really is about harmony. This really is about, it's really interesting because, you've been around for a while and that I'm, moving back into my relationship with God and Christianity and the Holy Spirit. And that I believe that the internal guidance system truly is the Holy Spirit. And
Hmm.
the fruits of the Spirit are patience and kindness and love and forgiveness. I may not have them all right, and self-control. And there's all these fruits. And those are the fruits that come from following your internal guidance system naturally. That the way that it leads you in the openings, those things are produced. So even if it's not in that moment, there's something that he needs to hear. So if it opens you to have a real one-on-one, this is what's going on for me conversation, one, he may change, which
Hmm.
you probably are like, I don't know if I even want him to change. I just want us to be over.
Uh-huh.
Right. Or it's something he needs to hear so he doesn't do it with somebody else in the future. But there is a role because it keeps coming up. And this has been a couple of years. You brought this up a couple of years ago.
Yeah. It wasn't even good in the beginning. It wasn't much better. And everybody around, like my family, they don't feel connected to him. It's almost like he's a little creepy, not my kids and stuff. And I don't totally trust him. I wouldn't leave him in my house by myself. So why am I in this? I keep asking myself, why? This is
Well,
not the
does
kind of
it
relationship I usually have.
does it open you to walk away completely without explanation As you think about doing that, do you feel open,
Um,
or does it cause a closing anxiety?
walk away completely, like without
And just,
explanation.
mhm,
Walk away.
mm-mm,
Yeah, I'm not sure if it totally opens me. I got a little,
mm-mm.
no, maybe not. No,
It doesn't.
I got a
I
little
feel
tight.
it. You did. You have to have a conversation.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I kind of knew the answer, but maybe there was. You were going to
You're
tell me.
hoping for a way out. You're hoping for a way out.
No, I think I have to just pay more attention to my IGS around this when I'm thinking about it, and even thinking about when I'm going to talk to him. Say, just pay attention. So yeah.
And, I've had these conversations with clients and in my own life go either way. It can open up something that is profound and deep, and there's a transformation, right? Where
Hmm.
the person's like, I've been hearing this my whole life and I don't know what to do. And the conversation turns into something that's actually really rich and good, and it breaks something free and there's a shift. And I've had it go to where the person's upset and come back later and is like, thanks for telling me. I needed to hear that. And other people were feeling the same way, but nobody had the guts to tell me. Um, so whatever is there in the moment as you're going to tell them what's going on, my recommendation is don't end the friendship in the beginning. Don't start it with, hey, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore, because start it
Hmm.
with, I'm not really finding that I'm wanting to hang out with you because of these things,
Hmm. And just see where it goes.
and just see where it goes. These are the hard conversations that make a big difference in people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels like there's, yeah, like you said before, it's like it's not the first time it's come up, and so like you know, I can either deal with it now or not until the next time or whenever. So I get that part. So I
And
choose.
another thing that's coming up is, and you got to use your IGS to see what you feel, how you feel, but this is what feels opening to me to tell you is, it feels like it'll happen naturally. Like it could happen where you're just like on the walk around a pond, right?
Hmm.
And he says something and it just hits you like, hey, I need to have a talk about what you just said. This is something that's come up before. And this is a good opportunity for me to like have this conversation with you, because it's in the moment, and there's a connection point for him as to what's going on versus the talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, as a matter of fact, the last time I hung out with him, which was not that long ago, less than a week, as I was going to meet him, I kind of had a vision like that. Like, if I hook up with him, he's going to insult me about something, because sometimes my knee and my back screw up, so I walk a little wobbly, and he's like makes a joke about it, and so I was like, if he does that, I'm just going to tell him straight right. Like, what? No, the fantasy was I'm going to walk up, he's going to insult me, and then I was going to just say, you know what? I'm not hooking up with you for lunch. See you later, and I'm just walk away. That was my actual fantasy. Didn't go that way, but I get it. So
Well,
were connected.
yeah.
We're on to something. So.
And you know what? You can handle it that way. If it opens you, it'll work out. If you're closed with, you know what? I'm not going to hook up with you today. I'm leaving. If that's a closing thing, it won't accomplish anything good. It's
Right.
only in the communication with the opening that it will land, because opening begets opening and closing begets closing. So if you really actually want to do right by this person and yourself, the conversation should be slow, and you should make sure you're open before you say stuff, because then you know that it's the healthiest, best way that you could serve the conversation in the moment. It's in our closings that we just create more wreckage.
Right.
And that's not what anybody needs here.
Mm-hmm.
You're learning how to do this conversation well. You haven't had it in your lifetime, even though you've had the call for it.
Mm-hmm.
And in learning how to do it well, you don't care about this guy that much. In fact, what's what I'm hearing. So you might as well practice on somebody that you don't care how it lands. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
practice the hard stuff now, and you'll see it's not as scary as you think.
I mean, I do feel, I mean, the guy is he's a lonely guy, and he's got some issues, and yeah. So I'd like to help him, or I'd like to not hurt him, but it's
But
not
see,
help.
that's the thing is like pitying somebody is not supporting them. Okay. And it doesn't mean that it's your job to do.
Right,
Just because you run across a stray dog doesn't mean you have to bring it home and make it part of your family.
right,
Right. So the thing is it's like, you know that I believe we have soul family.
yeah,
Right. And I'm just going to talk about it for a minute for people that are listening. Right.
yeah,
So I think that we come down with a group of people and we're all together to learn from each other. Some of them are enemies and some of them are friends. We pick our family. You know, the way I like to talk about it is if you're in a big city and you're walking through the city, there's all these like ghosts coming by you. There's people you don't even recognize them. And then every once in a while, somebody will come out of the crowd at the city walking down the sidewalk towards you and you totally see them. You get eye contact. There's a recognition. It's like, boom, I recognize you. And you may even think about that person for few minutes. I have a woman in New York that 5 years ago, I saw her walking down the street and we had a moment. She's an older Mexican woman. I don't know if she's Mexican, Hispanic, but I think she was Mexican. And we just had an eye contact nod and I felt something and I still remember her. And it's weird, it's like, huh, how does that happen? Well, I think it's because we have vibrational frequency and we're in family together. If somebody is not supposed to be a part of your soul family, you cannot make it work no matter how much you try. Even if they're blood, even if they're your blood relatives, if they're not part of your journey in this lifetime of what your personal growth is supposed to be about and your intimacy and connection, no matter how many times you feel obligated and like you have to, you should, you need to, you must be in relationship with somebody or help them or do this, it just doesn't work out. It's messy and it always turns out to be, and that part of it, I believe, is letting those people go so you can be focused on what you need and not in a cruel, difficult way. It's really about there's somebody else that they need to have in their life, and there's only 24 hours in a day. There's somebody else they need to have in their life that's actually going to be more a part of their soul journey than you can be. And so you really want to pay attention. Obligation is always closing.
mm,
And it's the one that gets me in trouble too. It's feeling obligated to somebody. Man, I'm the worst at if there's a salesperson who spends too much time answering my questions. I will go with them because I don't want to waste their time. And I can tell you every time I've done that, it's been the worst purchase or the person that should not be painting my house. I had a gut feeling, but I was like, oh, they've been by twice and I've changed the bid 4 times. And now I'm going to say no, I'm going to look like a jerk. And then I get in trouble and we end up in small claims court because the person did a horrible job, right? It's like,
mm,
that's the way it works. Obligation is always closing, which means don't do it. It should feel opening and right and good. And what I'm hearing from you is, yeah, but he's a lonely guy and, he's got issues. And so nobody loves him. So it's my job to love him. That's not opening.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
won't serve you and it won't serve him. We only
yeah,
have enough time for a certain amount of people in our lives, and he won't go seeking. It's like I used to help people because I could, not because it opened me. And it never turned out because the person wasn't ready for the support and I wasn't the right support to be giving them. If I had not fixed that problem, they would have they would have been fixed and it would have been fixed in the way that that was needed instead of me feeling pity is always closing too. Oh, I'm so sorry you're in this situation. I'll come and help you, and then I get burned.
yeah, yeah. That's. I think this is a bigger thing for me because I don't like doing any of this. I don't
It
like.
should be opening.
Yeah,
And if it's opening, it won't be painful for you. It'll feel like discernment. It'll feel like you're in your masculine leadership moment.
hmm,
Okay. So that's the difference between the internal guidance system and using it in these kinds of conversations and not using your internal guidance system. The fear that you're feeling of hurting his feelings or looking like a bad guy or him getting mad and yelling at you or maybe talking behind your back or whatever it is that the fear is, it's closing. It's not true. Okay. This is a moment where you get to step up as a man and be a leader in being completely forthright and honest with another man about what is up. think of it as serving him, not dumping him, not breaking up with him. It may be that you end up not together as friends and doing things anymore, but
Yeah.
you've spent enough time to know, and you're not the only one. You said it's your family and there's other people. This is a moment where you get to step up and serve him in. This is how you come across. It's one
Right.
of the most loving and powerful things that you can do is to be kind, open, and honest and reflect back to somebody the thing that's keeping them from having other people in their life.
Yeah.
Just, it's like, you have to do it in your men's circle. I know that you hang out with men and you guys you help support each other in being better men and really looking at the stuff that's going on. That's the role that you should be taking on with this person. And it's sometimes in those men's circles there, you got to be like, dude, you are not stepping up in the way that we know you can. And we're calling you out. And that's more of what this moment is than I'm going to break up with you because you're not the one. That's not what this is about.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I am never brought it to them actually, but
You should.
I don't have these issues with them at all. I can go right up to someone and say F you, and we have it out, and then it's over. Everyone flaps their wings and we just move on.
Yeah. That's why I'm
Yeah.
pointing it out. That's more the energy of it.
Yeah.
Everyone, and we don't know what he's going to do. He might flap his wings, and we don't know what the move on is going to look like. But the conversation needs to be had man to man, and it needs to be had in service of him having a better, higher good in his life. Not you just putting up with his crap, and he's still the same person with not. We don't know. He might go and dig deep. That's what happened to the one person that I ended up having this conversation. One of them, he said, I hate you and you're the worst thing and I'm going to ruin your life and I'm going to tell everybody in our community what a piece of garbage you are. And he did, he tried, and everybody took my side. Like, she's right. I feel the same way about you. You treat us all like dirt. You use us, you do this, and I'm kind of sick of being your friend too. And he came back to me about 2 months later and was like, you know what? I want to apologize. I went out there and I did what I said I was going to do, and everybody agrees with you. I'm a jerk. And thank you. I got a lot of work to do. I didn't realize that everybody in the community hates me. I wouldn't have known. And literally everybody was, I just got to the point because I kept trying to help him and he kept shitting on me, excuse my language. And I finally got to a place where he called me up to have him help him with something. And I was like, no, in fact, I actually don't want you in my life ever again. And I had a very opening conversation about who he was. And I did a fundraiser for him because he had a big old issue happen. And he showed up at like 11 o'clock at night, took all the money and left. Didn't even help clean up, didn't help set up, didn't help do anything. And that's the day that I was like, all right, I'm done. He just totally used me. And so my point is later it transformed him. He stopped doing all those things and he kept his community. I didn't choose to be friends with him still because when I really dug in, he wasn't a person that I was in my soul family. There was no connection like you're talking about. He was just in my community. I saw a need, so I tried to help.
Yeah.
My point is, yeah.
I was going to say, through this conversation, I'm starting to realize that, this is really about me as far as like, I don't have time for this anymore. Like, I'm at this time in my life where it's like,
Yep.
I don't want to waste time with these kind of things. Like I need to take care of myself, and whatever that, however selfish that comes off, it doesn't matter. That's the part that I need to get better. I'd like to get better, stand up. This is for me. I need to take care of myself. Yeah. If he's not supporting my life, I don't have time to mess around and, not worry about it. Just do what I got to do.
Let's go back. Does it open you that it's selfish?
Does it open
to cultivate? Yeah. That it's selfish, that you're being selfish of taking time, that you don't have time in your life to cultivate relationships that aren't serving you and building you up. Does that open you that it's selfish to do that?
No, it's closing.
It's closing. That means it's not true that it's selfish. Being protective and cultivating your life is an incredibly important thing. It's a very short time we have here. And that's my whole point is there are people that you need to be spending time with that are part of your soul family, that are part of your journey, that you have an impact on, and they will have an impact on you. And you cannot be hanging out with people that are not part of that soul family because it
Yeah.
doesn't work out. It's like Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And there's nothing being served in that. And part of our growth and our spiritual journey is learning how to cut the wheat from the chaff. Is like
Yeah.
learning how to keep the gold and get rid of the stuff that's not and focus on what's true. And it's an incredibly important skill to learn. And you've been trying to learn this from what I'm hearing for a while. Like even when you found out
Yeah.
there was a woman that you were dating that wasn't the right woman, instead of cutting her loose so she can go find her man and you
Yeah.
continuing on your journey, the fear of looking bad, her hurting you, being angry, all of that kept you from doing what you needed to do
Yep.
and step up for yourself in what you know to be true, that she wasn't the one. So
Yeah.
here we are again. He's not the one. And it's part of this is what you're here to learn and
Yeah.
do well. Have this conversation well. And don't
Yep.
feel guilty about it. Guilt is always closing. Remember, guilt always is whether it's a false belief about what makes you a good or a bad person. Don't feel guilty. Stick to your truth. It opens you. And have the hard conversation into the opening. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
And when you leave the conversation, keep using your IGS because your mind may come up with, oh, he got mad or he was upset or I hope I didn't hurt his feelings. Check your IGS. Because when I started learning how to have these conversations, I would leave and be all, oh no, did I do this? Oh God. And I'd be like, oh, I'm closed. Anytime you do this, you're closed. So it's like, and I'd be like, no, that was the right conversation. I could take a stand and know that I had the right conversation because it would open me still even after. So don't let
Yeah.
your head noise wreck you
Yeah.
wreck you
No,
after it's over.
I'm intuitive enough to know the difference when that would happen. So
Good.
I trust myself on that one.
Good. You look good.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I haven't
Yeah.
seen you in a while. I lost
I
track. So
know.
all this transition. So
All the new community and everything. I know. But I'm back. We'll be doing more and more and more of these.
Yep.
And super
Okay.
happy to have you. All right, darling. Thank you.
Thank
I want to
you.
hear report back in. You
I
got my
will.
number.
Thanks.
Okay. All righty, everybody. All right, so that's our show for today. I want to just let you know if you're interested in learning how to really use your internal guidance system, tapping into divine intelligence to be able to work through the things in your life that are hard and challenging. If you want the like I said, kind of like AI has prompts, your internal guidance system has prompts, and I've spent years decoding them on what to do when you have irritation, guilt, when you're frustrated, when you're in fear, worry, when you're having lack issues with finances, whatever it is that's coming up that's causing suffering. There is a way to shift your thinking to get the opening and get back on track to where you're going to be successful, happy, and filled with joy. If you want to learn how to do that, you can go to BeFearFreeNow.com, BeFearFreeNow.com. There we have a membership. It's a monthly membership. There's 2 levels. You can pick one, and the first 14-day trial is free. We do not even charge you till you go through the first 14 days, and that is where you get the first 14 prompts. You heard me talking about that with Caitlin earlier. She's going through it, and then you can decide whether you want to move forward with your membership or not. But at least jump in and get the first 5 or 6 days under your belt so you can find out what this internal guidance system that is part of you. You were born with it. Anytime you feel worry, anxiety, overwhelm, fear, frustration, irritation, procrastination, impatience, defensiveness, doubt, mistrust, I can go on and on about all these closing things. Anytime you feel that, you're already feeling your internal guidance system. It's giving you information to correct what you're thinking in that moment. Don't go another day with all those sensations and not knowing what to do with them. Don't go another day without getting yourself back on track into where you're going to be successful. Dive into the Fear Free Human Collective, get your prompts, get yourself knowing how to work with this and have your life work out for you. Anyways, I'm sending you love and blessings. I hope you have an amazing day. Mwah! Bye for now. I'll see you again soon.